What is the point of awakening? When Joseph Campbell was interviewed by Bill Moyers back in the 1980s about his life's work and about the power of myth and Joseph Campbell's work in myth, Joseph Campbell said something that always stuck with me. He said, "I don't believe in being interested in something because it's said to be important. I believe in being interested in something because it catches you somehow." I think this is exactly the case with awakening. The point of awakening could be described in bullet points. It's about accessing your true nature. It's about seeing things as they truly are. It's about knowing yourself in the most intimate way. But those are not exactly how this usually starts for people. How this usually starts for people is it catches you in some way. And when it does catch you, you may use terms like that to describe it, but you know that it's a much more intimate experience, an intimate process. It's very primal, very fundamental to who you are. So, what is the point of awakening? Well, awakening itself is the point. Meaning, a conceptual explanation of the mechanics of awakening might be fun to hear about. The background and history of the wisdom traditions that talk about awakening, enlightenment, Kensho, Satori, may be really interesting and fun to learn about. Hearing stories of people who have woken up can be powerful, moving, fascinating. But none of those are the point of awakening, because those are secondhand knowledge, secondhand understanding. It has to be firsthand. It has to be experienced by you. So in one sense, it becomes a very solitary process, very singular, and there's no surrogate for the experience itself or for the transformation itself. There's no second hand when it comes to awakening. Second hand might as well be 50th hand. There's no second, third, fourth, fifth. Any distance at all is just more of the same. It's conceptual, more of the problem. Awakening is the only thing that is self-validating in this way. It's the only thing that's fully 100% intrinsically valuable and also intrinsically revealing. You can never really know the point of awakening until it happens. Once it happens, the point of it is the most obvious thing in the world. And you won't need to talk about it, characterize it, write about it. You might do those things, but they don't clarify the awakening. They don't actually point directly to the awakening, and you should know at that point why that is. It's too personal, too close, too obvious, too immediate. See, up until that point, what's happening is we're looking past it. We're looking through a lens that says, I can find something out there. I can find something in the future, even a moment in the future. It's apart from me, so I have to find it, chase it, understand it, clarify it, reveal it, work toward it. So we're looking past it. We're looking past the most precious, the most ineffable, indescribable, but obvious thing there is. And it's a non-thing. But that looking past isn't just an occasional occurrence. Once we become an adult, living in an adult mind, it becomes a constant experience. It's a dissociated experience. Disassociated because we feel apart from everything. We feel distanced from all experiences, from the senses, from our own mind, our own thoughts, our own feelings. So there's a disassociation there, which immediately leads to a seeking, grasping, an aversion, a desire, and on and on and on. And that mechanism becomes quite solid, feels quite solid, such that we take ourselves to be it. We think that's what we are. So then when we're presented with, hey, there's this possibility called awakening, we only know how to use that mechanism to chase it, find it, clarify it, until someone tells us enough times and in the right way, it's not about that. It's too close for that. It's already here. It's already the case. You can't force it. You can't force the hand of reality. So what can you do? How do you approach this? Well, I have a lot of videos about the nuances of the process, but here we're talking about what the point of it is. So the point of it is to see the illusion of that entire apparatus, the illusory nature and the uncomfortable nature of that apparatus of seeking, understanding, grasping, knowing. It's dirty business, but we do it all the time. So the point is, it's its own intrinsic value, its own intrinsic reward, its own intrinsic living truth. Now, if you haven't had this kind of very obvious shift in identity, doesn't mean that you're completely closed off from it. You probably have tastes of it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening. You wouldn't be interested in this topic. In fact, often when people are averse to this, they really avoid listening to this kind of thing because they sense at some level that it can be catalyzing, triggering of awakening. So you're probably vibing with this that I'm saying. It's a feel thing. That's it. That's the point. The point is to follow those breadcrumbs into a place that is beyond your mind, or before your mind, or before the seeking starts, before you move your mind to imagine a different world, a different place, a different experience. That's where you look. That's where I want you to look. The point is to look there, to begin to trust that I can't say what it is in words. I know for some people their mind is going, what? What is it? What are you talking about? But that's just because your mind is hungry for a concept. I'm not going to give you a concept. I could, but it would be the wrong answer. If you're interested in awakening, that's not what you want. You might think you want it. Your mind might want it. It might feel satisfying to land on a definition of awakening, but that's not what you really want. You want the direct experience. You want to go through those veils of illusion. You want to step into the portal of infinity to know what it is that exists without any binding by space or time or identity. And part of you already knows. But there is something else going on that's overlaying that we're taking ourselves to be. And it has to do with a lot of beliefs, a lot of struggle, a lot of pushing and pulling, desire and aversion, seeking. When that subsides to a sufficient degree, and the whole apparatus can just stop completely. The mind can stop in its tracks. Doesn't mean there won't be thoughts. It means there won't be identity with thoughts. There won't be pushing and pulling on thoughts. There won't be believing in thoughts as if they're defining our reality somehow. And then boom, there you are. Just as you are, just as you always were. Without having to define it in thought. Without having it feel threatened by doubt, confusion, disorientation. There's just clarity. Simple. Always here, always the case. That is the point of awakening.